Ladies and gentlemen, President Trump's stimulus package, $850 billion, including a $1,000 check to people hardest hit, I believe will prevent a recession. A couple things. There's a lot of people, well, Andrew Yang was right. Well, this is a different ballgame. Andrew Yang was talking about something completely different, even though it's the $1,000 check a month. That concept was not part of a stimulus package because of an unforeseen catastrophe or event or fake apocalypse. This is a specific remedy or reaction that I think President Trump is right to engage in. He's 100% right. Now, Democrats are they love the public relations spin with Democrats. They love buzzwords. They love words and phrases and euphemisms, and they love reliving the past, or I should say they love to use the word recession, even when it's President Trump is preventing a recession. So flashback to Great Recession. The president wants to send stimulus checks. So look how CNN, you just can't find a media company or entity or publication more in line with the Democratic Party. I mean, I guess you could, Washington Post, New York Times, MSNBC. But CNN, stimulus, flash, instead of just, there's a stimulus package and he's going to prevent 2 quarters of negative growth, 2 consecutive quarters of negative growth, because this is not due to the economy. The economy was soaring. This is due to an unforeseen event. But flashback to Great Recession. The president wants to send stimulus checks. CNN. It's a flashback to the Great Recession. We're actually back there. That's the way they work. That's the way that the media works. It's not that he's preventing something and we're tackling this issue and he's doing what he has to do to keep the economy afloat. So it's not like Democrats who are the absolute biggest hypocrites on the planet. They force businesses to shut down in California, but they're the same Democrats who in Illinois, Florida, and Arizona, and they would have in Ohio, but it was the Republican governor who helped stop that, along with the health chief there. But they're the ones telling you this is really horrible. Oh my God, you have to distance yourself from your fellow man. You must do that to survive the day. Oh, by the way, there's we have to defeat Bernie once and for all. So hundreds of thousands of people voted in Florida. Okay, and they waited in lines and they weren't 10 feet apart. Same with Arizona and Illinois. But here, and Biden won all of them, and I'm telling you Hillary Clinton's going to be nominee. People say, I just don't see it. Well, what do you see? You see Biden? You see Biden? Why? Because he's there? Well, so was Michael Bloomberg. Biden wasn't even the front runner 3 weeks ago. 4 weeks ago. 4 weeks ago, it was Bernie Sanders. Now Bernie is completely done. Believe me. Did you think that within 3 or 4 days, the country would shut down? At least 4 states, closed restaurants. But the country would shut down because of fake apocalypse? Yeah, it's a serious issue. Fine. You want to know how many people lost their lives? You want to know how many, just really quickly, you want to know how many people lost their lives in traffic accidents in 2016? 2016 traffic. Okay, so 37,757 people. Fatalities rose 6% in 2016, reaching an estimated 40,200 people. In 2016, lost their 40,000. Okay, they don't use the word vehicular violence for 40,000 people. And 37,757 the previous year. You have a lot more to worry about driving than you do with fake apocalypse. And the proof is there. When it comes to Bernie Sanders, they're like, okay, yeah, you know what? that, you know what, go ahead and vote him out, make sure that he can't win, because he's already out. So Joe Biden wins Florida and Illinois and extends his delegate lead over Bernie Sanders. So there you go. Bernie's going to drop out. Clinton is waiting for Bernie to drop out, and then for Biden to, take off his clothes and then run down the street singing a Backstreet Boys song, or Backstreet Boys with Biden. Who knows? So the point is here. Flashback to Great Recession. The president wants to send stimulus checks to Americans. It's like, my God. President Trump, this is CNN. President Trump wants to quickly put more money into Americans' pockets to help soften the economic blow many will face as fake apocalypse disrupts life across the nation. We don't want people losing their jobs. This is true. While the president has been pushing a payroll tax cut, he's now come around to the idea of sending checks to Americans as part of a massive economic stabilization package. The figure being discussed is $1,000. Providing direct stimulus payments is not a novel idea. In fact, the last president to do so was also a Republican. Former President George W. Bush mailed out checks during the recession of 2001 and 2008 to mitigate economic pain. Okay, Bush opted to provide this type of stimulus in 2001 and sent even larger checks in 2008 as the Great Recession bore down on the nation. So roughly 130 million households received tax rebates in the latter effort. Okay, so instead of simply saying he's preventing a recession, which is what he's doing, this is not... Okay, the economic downturn is going to be short-lived in about 2 weeks when things are forced to open up. Because also, look, when you're a Democrat, whether you're Gavin Newsom in California or the mayor in LA, you're part of a Democratic machine. You can't prolong businesses be shut down for too long, because then the state suffers as a whole. The economy of the state will suffer. So far more than just the money you get from the federal government. So you can't just do that. And eventually, look, people are still I was at the supermarket today and yesterday. People are there. They're buying things. If they're not spending money at restaurants and bars, which they should be, people were already not going to bars and restaurants anyway. For California to shut them down is like completely counterproductive and absurd when you think about the people who will lose their income and their livelihood, and perhaps many people will be on the verge of homelessness, because a great many people live paycheck to paycheck. And there's no scientific data that a restaurant that most people aren't going to now anyway within Los Angeles needs to be shut down. Where's that data? So, there were restaurants running, and they had maybe 4 tables out of 30 or 40 tables where people were eating. That was already before they were being shut down. You couldn't just allow them to continue to function, to give the owner of the restaurant a reason to keep his employees, saying, okay, now the restaurant's not making any revenue. A lot of places, bars, restaurants are going to shut down completely. What happens to all the people, the cooks, the waiters, the people who clean the tables? What happens to all of that? What happens to the food distributors that had all these clients that are now shutting down? Or everything to do with the restaurant? I mean, the thing is, it's important to take precautions, but my God. But when it's something important to the Democratic Party is like a parent that says, oh my God, I can't afford braces for the kids, but you know what? God, that Ferrari looks really good. So when it's voting in long lines with a whole lot of people there, how many people voted? So Biden won. So Florida primary. Okay, Florida primary. 1 million people voted for Joe Biden. 1 million people. That's 1 million Democrats who really don't care about fake apocalypse, do they? They just go there and touch things, touch the little, voting booth, and touch that paper and touch and touch and touch. Yeah, they're not worried, huh? Makes you wonder why. Makes you wonder why they're not worried about the 1 million. Then there's 392. So Biden got 1,058,600 votes. Bernie got 392,180. And the geniuses, 146,000 voted for Bloomberg. He's not even running. And Mayor Pete got 39,000 votes. Bloomberg, check this out. I need to do a segment on this. Bloomberg got half as many votes. Almost half as many. I should say like 30 to 40% as much as like close to 30% as much as Bernie Sanders. Bernie got 392,000 votes. Bloomberg gets almost 150,000. And he's not even running. There were 146,000 people who were like in Florida who said 146,124 people who said, you know what? I think I'll vote for Bloomberg over Bernie Sanders. Does that make any sense at all? 146,124 people voted for Michael Bloomberg. 392,180 people voted for. That's 37%. That's hilarious. Michael Bloomberg got 37% of Bernie's vote total. And he's not only is he not running, it's not like Clinton was, she's not even running. Yeah, she's totally running. Why? Ladies and gentlemen, I know what people like, I just don't see it. I know you don't see it because you don't even understand, like you can't possibly fathom that the Democratic Party would allow this. But I'm telling you, I was a lifelong Democrat. I know what they're up to. Clinton runs this the way Al Capone ran, Chicago. I'm telling you that there's no chance that Biden is like at the 100th anniversary of the 19th Amendment. He's like, hey man. No, they're going with Clinton, and it doesn't matter. He can say I'm going to have Amy Klobuchar as my running mate tomorrow. It doesn't matter. It's all theater. There will be something that takes place. I couldn't predict fake apocalypse, but I couldn't predict Michael Bloomberg leaving a day after. A day after Super Tuesday. You can't even predict that Michael Bloomberg will get 146,000 votes. He is actually out of the race. You know who's not out of the race? Clinton is. She still said the door is open. She's always stated the door is open. So give me your thoughts below. Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something. They're not going with Biden because there are no Biden voters. In 2008, he was forced out of Iowa because he couldn't even get 1% of the vote. He got 0.08 in 2008. Biden voters are really Hillary Clinton voters. The I'm with her crowd is propping up Biden because they're like, the whole thing is get Bernie out of the picture. So Bernie Sanders now, he needs to drop out. Okay, so Sanders won all household. Okay, so Joe Biden wins Arizona primary. So he's won Arizona, he's won Illinois, and he's won Florida. Tell me again why Bernie needs to stay. Give me your thoughts below. Subscribe to H.A. Goodman's other channel. Thank you so very, very much.